The House is once again in session. Order, please. Now we turn to one of the most anticipated highlights of our House of Delegates meeting, the installation of our AOA president. This year we are honored to witness and participate in the inauguration of Richard Thacker, D.O., as the 130th president of the AOA. At this time, I am pleased to invite 25 to 26 AOA President Robert G.G. Piccinini, D.O., for the presidential oath of office. And I would ask Dr. Thacker to take the front podium as well.
Did you say 26 to 27?
I don't know what I said. 24. It says 24 to 26 in my book. That's 2 years, but it's really 1. We still love you, Robert.
Feels like 2.
It is. It feels like 3.
Can you tell I'm taking my time? Savoring the moment? Let's get on with it. You, Richard R. Thacker, D.O., have been elected by the members of your association to the high office of President. With this office goes the responsibilities for the success of the policies and objectives of the American Osteopathic Association during the coming year. You are charged with the task of providing leadership that will bring our association before organizations, elected officials, and the public. You are charged with the responsibility of naming able leadership who will diligently carry out the activities assigned to the AOA committees. In addition, you are charged with successfully developing and promoting programs that benefit the AOA family. I know that you will serve our association well and will accept these responsibilities. To that end, I know you will also do the utmost to bring great credit to our profession during your year in office. Now, Richard, will you please raise your right hand and attest to the oath of office, and please repeat after me. I hereby swear or affirm that I, Richard R. Thacker, D.O.,
I swear that Richard R. Thacker, D.O.
Right
I can't see it. You're so short, and it's like let me get that. I got it.
Right. See? Right there.
Oh, there it is.
This is all in seriousness, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right.
It's very solemn moment.
Let's step back.
All right, let's step back.
I hereby swear and affirm that I, Richard R. Thacker, D.O.,
I hereby swear or affirm that I, Richard R. Thacker, D.O.,
will do all in my power to uphold the Constitution and bylaws of the American Osteopathic Association. That during the year I will carry out all the duties of President to the best of my abilities. And that I will deal justly, fairly, and impartially in all matters which come before me. This I solemnly pledge. Give you your presidential.
Thank you.
Thanks. That's pretty nice. Let's see.
No, that's mine.
Now, it is my honor to present to you all the 130th President of the American Osteopathic Association, Richard R. Thacker, D.O.
That was great. I swear, that was great. The mic's on.
Hello. In your hand. All yours. I just wanted to say, as Dr. Lewis is coming to the stage, for those of you who can't see, I'm very honored to have received this watch. And typically it's a ring, but I've had this FOMA ring for 20 years when I was president of the FOMA, and I love this ring. And I just couldn't imagine replacing it because the FOMA is so important to me, and I'm so proud of it. And so I was kind of thinking, and trying to stay within the budget. I didn't, but we came upon a watch. But when I look at this, it's like 10 minutes fast. Piginini time, there it is, right? And I also wanted to point out, in some countries, Bob and I just got married. But, so, Dr. Lewis.
You're so crazy.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the installation of Richard R. Thacker, D.O., M.A.C.O.I., as the 130th President of the American Osteopathic Association. My name is Dr. Carmen Lewis, and I have the privilege of serving as Vice President for Institutional Effectiveness at the Alabama College of Osteopathic Medicine, where I have the pleasure of working alongside Dr. Thacker in his roles as Associate Dean of Clinical Sciences and Associate Professor of Internal Medicine. It is truly an honor to welcome you all to this historic occasion as we celebrate Dr. Thacker's installation as President of the American Osteopathic Association. I would now like to invite Dr. William Stager to the stage to deliver the invocation. Dr. Stager.
And I have my FOMA ring too. Shazam. Anyways, or as they say in Florida, the Reverend's in the room. Would you join with me with a prayer in grace and blessing and thanksgiving for all that we have, and thank you all to the leadership here at AOA. Thank you all, everyone. So, dear Lord, today is a day of great rejoicing. For you have gathered your dear children together for this auspicious occasion of the inauguration of Dr. Richard Thacker and his new administration in the American Osteopathic Association. It is a day of new beginnings, of wonderful beginnings, and with all the hopes and dreams and aspirations of this new administration, as well as all of us, too. We pray that you bless Dr. Thacker and his sweet wife Sherry and family with all your healing through this intense time of the loss of their dear son Blake and mom Jean. May you hear our hearts and tears of pains and loss, and transform and bless them. Bless them all with your precious light and life and love, so that only your divine will and wisdom, perfect peace and happiness will prevail at all times and in all places. We're gathered here tonight, united by several commonalities. Everyone here is united in their desire and manifestation to serve at any level they can. And so we thank you, God, for the grace and opportunity to serve your creation in any capacity, and especially as osteopathic physicians. We thank and ask that you bless everyone who's come before and served and raised this organization to its heights with all their many energies and talents, monies and sacrifices. We stand on their shoulders with humility and gratitude. To serve is a blessing. When we serve, we bless and are blessed. And it stands to reason that with the right intent, with being in tune with God, with our highest light, that our ability to serve and bless and be blessed would increase. To serve as conscious co-workers in your divine plan, and that you touch our hearts and minds with your true health and happiness, so that only your true light and love would shine through all our decisions and actions and bring peace and joy and harmony and healing through your great gift of osteopathy at all times, in all places. And thus, we thank you especially for that wonderful gift of osteopathy, and that you open our eyes and minds to the infinite horizons and potentials of those osteopathic principles and practices, of the divine bounty of osteopathy, and that you bless and heal the whole world in and through it. So may the light of the American Osteopathic Association so brilliantly shine that your glory will be visible for all to plainly see, and that we will serve as an inspiration and source of health and healing for all. And thus, in the humble words of Dr. Andrew Taylor Still, we ask, O Lord, please give skill to my hands, clear vision to my mind, and kindness and sympathy to my heart. Amen. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Steger, for those beautiful and inspiring words. I would also like to thank Dr. and Ms. Thacker for giving me such an honor of being such a part of this prestigious and meaningful occasion. Before we begin our introductions, I would like to acknowledge someone whose absence is deeply felt today. Blake Thacker, the beloved son of Dr. and Ms. Thacker, tragically lost his life along with 11 others in the aviation accident that occurred last month on June 14th in Butler, Missouri. While Blake cannot be with us today, we know that he would be incredibly proud of his father, and we celebrate this remarkable occasion with the Thacker family in our hearts. It is now my pleasure to recognize Dr. Thacker's family and special guests. As I call your names, would you please stand? First, please welcome Dr. Thacker's wife, Sherry, who has been a true partner in his success. Please also welcome his daughter, Allison Thacker, and Marlena Collins. Please also recognize Dr. Thacker's longtime friends, Bob and Cindy Smith. And Kevin and Jackie Bist. Thank you for being here. Joining us as both a lifelong friend and colleague is Dr. Al Lopez, who attended medical school with Dr. Thacker. Finally, I would like to recognize Dr. James Jones, Dean of the Alabama College of Osteopathic Medicine. Dr. Jones has served not only as a colleague, but also as a mentor to Dr. Thacker, and Dr. Thacker is truly appreciative of the support he has received from Dr. Jones and from ACOM. I would now like to recognize the Florida delegation, beginning with Chairman Dr. Joe Gimo, Vice Chair, Dr. Anthony Ottaviani. And Dr. James Towery, President of the Florida Osteopathic Medical Association. Would you all please stand? Dr. Thacker has been a member of the Florida Osteopathic Medical Association, or FOMA, for 38 years. Beginning in 1988 as a student at Nova Southeastern University, Kiran C. Patel College of Osteopathic Medicine, he participated in SOMA and later served as FOMA president from 2006 to 2007. Under the leadership of Steve Wynn and now Michelle Wynn as executive director, FOMA has provided Dr. Thacker with countless opportunities to grow into the osteopathic physician and leader that we honor here today. Please enjoy this special video tribute to Dr. Thacker presented by the Florida Osteopathic Medical Association.
Every leader carries a story, not the one written in titles and degrees, the one written in the places that shaped them. This is that story. Every physician is shaped long before they become one. Before the title, before the white coat, before the oath. There is family. There is the quiet work of being raised by people who knew what hard work meant and who taught their son that service to others isn't a profession, it is a calling. Betty and Thurman Thacker began their life in the coal mining hills of eastern Kentucky, and when opportunity called, they made the journey north to Detroit, Michigan, to start a family and carve out a life. Richard Randall Thacker was born on August 28, 1962 in Detroit. Thurman and Betty gave their son a name, a heritage, and a foundation. He learned that the measure of a person is found not in what they accumulate, but in what they give back. In 1976, when Rich was 13 years old, the Thacker family moved to Green Cove Springs, Florida. He developed strong roots growing up in this community, participating in sports, playing saxophone in the high school marching band, and developing lifelong friendships that still exist today. But it was those long Florida summers, working in the family business, the Little Basket Market, where he would learn the meaning of hard work and how to connect to people. These lessons would be the very foundation of his future as an osteopathic physician. And in a small town in Green Cove Springs, Florida, a high school student stood beside a science fair project that would foreshadow his entire life. I want to be a doctor when I grow up. The choice was deliberate. The vision was clear. And the road ahead, though he could not know it, would carry him further than he ever imagined or could dream. In 1987, with perseverance and hard work, Rich became the first member of his family to ever graduate from college when he earned his Bachelor of Science in Psychology from the University of Florida. And then, a defining decision. He answered the call of osteopathic medicine, choosing a profession that treats the whole person, mind, body, and spirit. In 1992, he graduated from Nova Southeastern University College of Osteopathic Medicine, a class of pioneers in a young and growing school. And tonight, he becomes the very first graduate of that college to be inaugurated as president of the American Osteopathic Association. The next chapter took him north, this time to Pennsylvania. At Delaware Valley Medical Center in Bucks County, where he completed an osteopathic internal medicine internship and residency. During his time there, he served as chief intern, chief medical resident, and resident of the year. The pattern was already clear. Where he served, where he led, he served. In 1995, at the completion of his residency training, he came home to North Florida. As a National Health Service Corps scholar, he began his career practicing primary care at a federally qualified health center in the rural and underserved community of Madison, Florida. He connected with people. He made a difference. He had fulfilled his calling. For 23 years, Rich served the Tallahassee and Madison communities as an AOA board-certified internist and hospice and palliative care physician. He practiced primary care with his patients throughout the continuum of their lives. He worked in the office, the hospital, rehab, and nursing homes, meeting each patient where they were and caring for them as a whole person. He didn't just practice medicine, he led it. It was in Tallahassee, the Florida state capital, where he was given the opportunity, through FOMA, to advocate for the profession that had given him so much. In 2006, he served as president of FOMA, and in 2026, FOMA bestowed upon him the highest honor they can give, the FOMA Distinguished Service Award. During those years in Tallahassee, he raised his family, took care of his patients, and gave back to the community and those in need. He led medical mission trips abroad, caring for the people of Honduras and Romania. And in 2016, he was given the honor of receiving the HCA Frist Humanitarian Award. In 2018, Rich accepted an opportunity to teach the next generation of osteopathic physicians. Today, he serves as Associate Dean of Clinical Sciences and Associate Professor of Internal Medicine at the Alabama College of Osteopathic Medicine in Dothan, Alabama. The students he mentors will go on to serve communities he will never see. And that is the deepest measure of a physician's life. Not just whom you heal, but whom you raise up to heal others.
Dr. Thacker has received numerous congratulatory letters on his installation as president of the American Osteopathic Association, including letters from United States Senator Ashley Moody, Congressman Daniel Webster, Congressman Byron Donalds, and a special congratulatory letter from President Donald Trump. These letters will be on display during this evening's President's Reception. We would now like to share several special congratulatory video messages.
Dr. Thacker, Brian Cook here with HCA Healthcare's North Florida Division. Super proud of you and excited to congratulate you on your nomination and election into the new president of the American Osteopathic Association. In our time together, you're my doctor, you're also my advocate, serving as my chairman of the Board of Trustees, but an advocate of so many out there, and we really look forward to the work you're going to do with the AOA and serving as the next president, and we're super proud at HCA Healthcare, so congratulations and wishing you the best.
I want to offer my warmest congratulations to Dr. Rich Thacker on him becoming president of the American Osteopathic Association. This is a well-deserved honor. I've had the genuine pleasure of working with Dr. Thacker since I became the Dean of the Alabama College of Osteopathic Medicine 7 years ago. And I can say without hesitation that I've come to know him as a remarkable colleague. I've watched him lead with a strong commitment to osteopathic principles and practice. At ACOM, Dr. Thacker's always been a rare leader who keeps two things front and center: the highest standards of quality and the foundational principles of osteopathic medicine. He doesn't just teach the philosophy, he breathes it, he lives it, he makes it resonate with students in ways they remember for the rest of their career. Whether he's in the classroom or delivering an inspirational address, like he did at our commencement speech this year to the class of 2026. Dr. Thacker brings the perfect blend of wisdom and wit. The man just doesn't give remarks, he does stand-up comedy with a DO degree. I've seen his audiences go from thoughtful nods to full-on laughter in under 30 seconds. He has that wonderful gift for bringing a smile to a crowd. But if I had to name his greatest strength, it would be his warm and genuinely welcoming nature. Dr. Thacker has a way of making everyone feel appreciated and accepted. His door is always open to students, colleagues, staff, anyone who needs guidance, a sounding board, practical help, or just someone to listen. The AOA is incredibly fortunate to have Dr. Thacker stepping into this leadership role. I have no doubt his wisdom, his humor, his big-hearted approach will strengthen our profession. We're all better for having him in our corner. Congratulations, Dr. Thacker. The osteopathic profession just got a whole lot brighter and funnier.
As president of the Alabama College of Osteopathic Medicine, I want to congratulate Dr. Richard Thacker on being named the 130th president of the American Osteopathic Association. You have dedicated your more than 3-decade medical career to providing leadership in clinical practice, medical education, and advocacy to the osteopathic profession. Throughout your decorated career, you have held leadership roles at local, state, and national levels. As a board-certified internal medicine physician, you have championed osteopathic medicine as a well-respected voice advocating state and national legislation. As a member of the faculty and executive team at the Alabama College of Osteopathic Medicine, you remain passionate about educating future osteopathic physicians. During your tenure at ACOM, we have been recognized nationally as a top medical school, created a second-to-none simulation program, continually been a top school in residency placement, and produced the National Student Researcher of the Year for an unprecedented 3 consecutive years. It is with great pride that we share your distinguished leadership to inspire the 200,000 osteopathic physicians and medical students who make up the AOA. We look forward to seeing the great things you do in the coming year at the AOA, and on behalf of Southeast Health and ACOM, we congratulate you on this great honor.
My name is Steve Wynn, and I'm proud to say that I have worked with the Florida Osteopathic Medical Association for over 51 years. I recently retired as the CEO. Wow, what a special time and honor for you, Dr. Thacker, to become president of the American Osteopathic Association, elected by your peers. I apologize for not being in Chicago and sharing this lifetime achievement with you, the FOMA, your family and friends. But unfortunately, I have a conflict that requires me to be at a meeting where I am one of the presenters. Dr. Thacker, I don't know if you would remember when we first met, but I do. We first met at the Southeastern College of Osteopathic Medicine. I was asking DO students to get involved with the FOMA. Well, maybe begging DO students to get involved with the FOMA. And right after the meeting, you came up and said, I want to get involved. And I thank you for saying yes. Look at you today, Dr. Thacker. You will be the voice of a very, very well-respected profession that needs to be heard, with over 200,000 osteopathic physicians and students, especially now with so many patient health care issues that only physicians deal with on a daily basis. This is a critical time for training students who will be treating those patients. Their career is just starting, but because of you, Dr. Thacker, and others like you, as caring as you are, their path will be filled with compassion, knowledge, and success. When 3 worlds collide, very, very difficult. Yes, you, Dr. Thacker, University of Florida football. Me, Florida State football. Michelle, University of Alabama football. Unbelievable rivals, but yes, 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 we can and we did. Your leadership, Dr. Thacker, over 38 years at the local, state, and national level with the FOMA, the AOA, and now ACOM, has brought you to this distinguished honor. I truly value our lifelong friendship and know you will continue to inspire our profession and the next generation of physician leaders. You made the FOMA, Michelle, and me stronger through your support, your leadership over the years. Your guidance and your advice has truly made a positive difference in how successfully the FOMA has grown. The FOMA will always be grateful to you for the many times you were called to the Florida State Capitol to testify on legislation to help protect patients and legislation to support physicians on healthcare issues. The support you always gave us providing students to attend the FOMA Healthcare Awareness Day at the Florida Capitol. You, sir, are truly an amazing person. You have been extremely lucky, however, to have your wonderful and supportive wife, Sherry, by your side during this entire journey. It is with love and respect, Judy, Michelle, Leslie, Jason, and I, our entire family, ask God to give you guidance and strength during this very challenging time in delivering quality health care to patients. God bless you, Dr. Thacker. We know you'll be successful.
It is now my distinct pleasure to invite Dr. Ronnie Martin to the stage.
I'm up here on the stage live because Rich and I both agreed I have a better face for radio than I do for recording a video up here, and there would be evidence of it. But I'm honored to be here and honored to have an opportunity to participate in this event. You know, I would venture that everyone in this room thinks they know who Richard Thacker, DO, is, and they know what the position he's prepared to take. I'm also willing to bet that many, if not most of you, don't really know the man behind the position or the title that you've elected him to. I can assure you that's your loss. You've learned a lot about him here on the film. You've had the opportunity to watch him. But I encourage you to correct over the coming days and months that you really get to know the man. He's a little shy and bashful, but you can probably work it out, okay? This man is far more than the position you've elected him to. He fills every criterion that this House has established for that honor. Don't doubt that a bit. But Richard's a man that I've known and valued as a friend for more than a quarter of a century, ever since I moved to Florida in 2000. Served with him on the Florida Osteopathic Association board and have been honored to serve with him in this House. I've had the pleasure of working and playing with him since that time, not only in Florida, but also on a national stage through the AOA and OPAC, and numerous other service opportunities, task force, committees, and meetings for this profession. Here's something you should know. He and I share a passion for service, teaching and improving the lives and the health of our patients, along with an overriding respect and love for this profession that we all share, okay? You also have to know his family if you want to know Dr. Thacker, okay? Now, like me, Rich married way up, okay? Sherry blessed him by saying yes more than 3 decades ago. But unlike many men so fortunate, he's not been content to sit by and take for granted this blessing. He's worked hard to raise his own game, to ensure that he earned the blessings that he received every day, enriched by the addition of Allison and Blake. His family truly is the center of his life. That I can assure you. He commits great effort and dedication to not only loving his family, but advancing and growing the relationship, ensuring that each and every one of them knows how much he loves them, yes, but also how much he respects them, appreciates them, and values them, not only as blood family, but as unique individuals, each and every one of them are. Okay? Commitments like this don't come easily, and they never go away. They continue today. They don't come without effort. They don't start and stop. They don't value weights or relativity. They sometimes come with heartache as well as with joy. Commitments to, respect for, and love of our families, those of our family by blood and those we choose, never dim, and they never actually go away. Believe me when I state in his case, they never will. In addition to the family that they own by birth, our profession contains many of you who are blessed that you're among the members of the family that Richard and Sherry chose. It's a bigger group of family. As you get to know this man, you're going to realize that in spite of the blows he may have suffered, there's enough passion, energy, skill, and talent in this man to meet the task you're assigning him. Now, you'll see he'll demonstrate a remarkable degree of knowledge, leadership, energy, passion, okay, in his efforts for our association and our profession. Demonstrates of leadership that you've already seen he's been demonstrating and putting into practice in both his medical practice and his educational efforts for decades now. There's not a good enough level for Rich when he takes on a task. He's going to follow it through to the end, and it's going to be done well. Our profession has rarely seen any man or woman more committed to honoring our inheritance of osteopathic history. You can rest easily that he will engage with the oversight of the obligations we make to each other, we make to our students, to our patients, and to the public. At the same time, however, he's going to note that he'll be working towards advancing both the actions and the men and women who will be required to ensure our future, the success of our profession, and the well-being of the public we serve. Now, as you've probably noticed, he's not really a shy, quiet, wallflower type of person. Okay? That he's not the type of man that's going to ensure that you do not know what he's really thinking or what his position is or what he values. He's a big man in every sense of the word. His actions are intentional, they're bold, they're decisive, and they're frequently visible. They're occasionally regretted. Many of you just now getting to know them will see that very soon. Okay? His thoughts and beliefs are not held in abeyance, let me tell you. But more than spoken, what you're going to learn is they're visible through his actions. There's little danger that you'll never really know the position he holds or the concerns he has surrounding issues that face our country, each of us individually, or our profession. Not a person who's going to go around and lament the world as it presents. Rather, he's one that's going to take action to correct the circumstances he finds to be wrong. Richard has a great appreciation for our profession's history, its tradition, and its contributions. But he knows we don't live in the past. We live today. And our purpose is not only to maximize the reality of the day, but it's to prepare for the future. The future will be shaped by policy and action. True, but it'll mostly be shaped by people. You're going to learn how he intends to inspire each and every one of you to share in his commitment and his vision. Richard has always had an emphasis and a commitment to supporting and advancing the young men and women of our profession. He has a very keen eye for recognition and development of leaders for our profession, both today's leaders and tomorrow's when many of us are gone. His work as a medical educator and dean has placed an emphasis on the development of young professionals for more than 2 decades in Florida and Alabama. He's demonstrated his commitment through his work with AOA, AACOM, ACOI, FOMA, with OPAC, and with OBI. In other words, he's put his action where his mouth is, time after time after time. He knows we must develop, promote, and take advantage of the skills, knowledge, passion, and leadership of these young professionals. If this profession is not just to survive, but if it's to thrive as it continues to grow. The respect he has for these young people is visible and it's inspirational because it reflects the expectations and the vision he has for the future of our profession and for each and every one of you. As recent events have shown us fate can be cruel, burdensome, and it can saddle us with outcomes that we hate. Fate, once again, has proven recently that we're often not in control of everything that happens to us. While prevention is superior to reaction, and preparation is frequently the forecaster of luck, neither preparation or prevention are always victorious at times. Sometimes luck or fate will win out. In Richard and Cherry and Allison's case, the recent blow was horrendous. It was personal, and it was cruel beyond measure. It carried the potential to stop the heart and the mind, and I promise you it challenged the soul. It demonstrated how little actual control we have over our lives, and it magnified the value of the real treasures that we have in our lives. Because our treasures are not found in fame, in power, position, money, or things. It's always in those we love, our family, the relationships we have with our friends, and the family we have chosen to join us. It's not the assets that we've accumulated, but the contributions that we make to those we love and the things we value that truly measure the value of our own life. Our purpose and the measure of our success is found in the contributions we make to others, far more than what we accumulate for ourselves. I promise you, this is one man and one family who will stand proud, we're called to measure their lives and the contributions that they've made. You see, the measure of man is not what happens to them, but how they react to what's happened. Let me assure you, fate chose the wrong victims if it expected Richard Thacker, Sherry, and Allison to fold their tent, withdraw, and quit the fight. They will not refuse to continue to live fully, to continue to contribute, lead, and demonstrate to all their memories of joy, love, and their faith. Richard Thacker is going to lead this profession with professionalism, integrity, and a clear vision of goals to improve the personal and professional lives of our members, the health and well-being of those we serve, as he has done for decades. Just as they've been beside him, as he's been a leader of our profession for decades already, his family will be right there as he does so. You know, we cannot always be able to control what happens to us by accident in motion, by accident or fate. But I will assure you that Richard will not have his actions directed by chance. His actions will be directed by choice, his choice, and they will be strong and they will be decisive. Intentional actions that will occur with an eye on the future success and stability of this profession that he and each and every one of us should envision as successful as we sit here today. Trauma makes you realize we all know, but we often ignore. What we do for others is important, yet it doesn't really necessarily mean that we're important. Our value comes from our family. Richard knows this, and he'll demonstrate it. His emphasis will be on advancing the future of our profession, developing and leading the young men and women who will inherit this profession to positions of leadership and contributions to our future, not upon himself. Rich will do all of this while demonstrating another truth in a manner that reflects his personality, that all you need to know and appreciate. What we all do every day for our patients is serious. That doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be serious all the time. Today is a day to be serious in our actions, but thankful, joyful, loving, and playful in our dealing with each other. We have the right man to take us in that direction. So let me tell you, if you're really having a bad time and you can't laugh at yourself, give him or me a call. We'll come over and laugh at you for you, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to introduce you to Richard Thacker, D.O.
Love you, man. Love you, brother. Thank you so much. I was able to preview a little bit of what Ronnie was going to say, and it was enough that I cried quite a bit, so I was able to hold it together some today, and it really helped. And before I start out with some thank yous, not least of which, Dr. Lewis, thank you so much. It was wonderful, and I greatly appreciate you, and did a fantastic job, and love working with you and Dr. Jones at ACOM. But we need to clear up some things before we get too serious. You know, y'all are expecting a few more jokes, and I've got some material that I just came up with while I was sitting up there, you know, during those long videos, and I said, oh, I can write some jokes during this downtime here, right? And I was thinking, you know, I was looking at these wonderful pictures of my great, wonderful parents who sacrificed a lot for the family. I was the oldest of 4 boys, and we were trouble for a time. But Mom, if you notice, looked a bit like Patsy Cline, you know, from that area, Eastern Kentucky and everything. And I thought Dad was like a young Kirk Douglas looking vibe going on there. And so you put those two together, and what you get is a bigger, stronger, smarter Brad Pitt, right? And, you know, just slightly less hair, but, you know, I can pull that off. And then the other thing, I was looking at that map with that little car running around, you know, and it looked like that little car in Monopoly that nobody wants, right, because it's hard to pick up. And it was about the same size of my first car, which was a Chevy Chevette, and it could have never made that trip, you know, north to Pennsylvania, I can tell you that. But I think that the biggest thing, and I really want to thank this group for not laughing and applauding when you saw those pictures of me with all that hair, you know. And there was one picture, it's like a helmet, you know, of hair. But Sherry wouldn't let me put in, she allowed the one where I had a little bit of a mullet, but she wouldn't let me put the one in after the home perm, you know. Oh, I mean, it's, you know, just choose wisely, young folks. That's all I can say. But I want to, as we go forward a little bit, this is a little bit more sad, but some funny aspects to it, because growing up at Detroit public schools and then moving to rural North Florida, about 30 miles south of Jacksonville, you know, we didn't have a lot of extra, but we had what we needed. And one of the other pictures, you know, class pictures from elementary school that I didn't put up there was, you know, I broke my glasses, you know, and I broke them in the bridge and had no way to replace them right away. And so, you know, and class pictures were coming up, and you know, staple gun wasn't going to work. Had duct tape and Band-Aids. We didn't even have any Scotch tape, you know, and there wasn't a store nearby that I'll just pop in the store and get some, and I had to make it a pictures, and I wasn't smart enough to, like, well, why don't you just take your glasses off for your photo? You know, I'm just a kid. I'm not problem solving like a good osteopathic physician does now. But so I chose the Band-Aid, and so I got this big, thick Band-Aid right in the middle. But Sherry wouldn't let me use that picture. And then the science fair picture, I won a Tri-County Science Fair there in North Florida. I mean, I got some real money, and that's where I got a little scholarship to junior college You know, that kind of put me on my path. And the superintendent of my school district, you know, and we're at this Orange Park Mall. It's like a 3-story mall. There's 1,000 people. I mean, more people than here. Better dressed people than here. You know, and he put me on the spot, just like Piccinini does all the time. Like, no preparation, just, hey, Rich, why don't you say something? And the superintendent's like, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? I was a senior in high school. It was early in the year, and I said, a doctor. But I hadn't really, truly, fully aspired to that only because I didn't think I could be. And this speaks to some of your initiatives, Bob, in terms of legacy and heritage and first-generation college students. Well, it certainly was me. And I'm like, you know what? That darn science fair empowered me to say I can be a doctor. I'm going to go to medical school. I wanted to aspire to something a little bit more. And you know, the biggest aspiration I had to that point was still healthcare related. I was going to be an X-ray tech because I had a family member who was an X-ray tech. They had a pretty good job with a pretty good living, and that was my aspiration. So that's in part why it's so important for me to mentor young people. And you should be part of that too. We're going to talk about that in just a minute. And I'll say one last thing. That suit that I was wearing, it was a leisure suit, polyester, and it was the best clothes I had because that was my, you know, uniform for stage band that, you know, the school provided. So with that, I want to thank Speaker Morrison, Vice Speaker Broder, who I love these guys. There should be no doubt about it, as many of us here do. I gave him each a kiss on the cheek, but Broder's got the worst aftershave. My God. I didn't even think they kept selling Aquavelva, you know? But, you know, Kathleen Creason, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you and your consummate professional staff that you've put together that all of us have enjoyed now this past week and throughout the years and years to come. I want to thank Dr. Piccinini, not so much for today, but leading up to today anyway. And it's your guidance and your friendship, your leadership, and your insightful feeling and knowledge to know what the AOA needed this year. And thank you for that. Yes. Dr. Piccinini, he's done so much for our profession this year, but years leading up to this. It's a journey, as you've heard, and I feel very fortunate to have had the opportunity to share that journey up to this point, and particularly this year with him. It's also a pleasure once again to work with Dr. Lewis, Dr. Jones, and it's been a great part of the latter half of my career. And everything I did, I think, up to this point has led me to be an educator for the osteopathic profession. Dr. Ronnie Martin, I appreciate your words so much today. Thank you. And thank you for helping me recognize my son Blake, and much love to you and your family, sir. The invocation that was provided by Dr. Steger, I'm the first one that started calling him Reverend, by the way, because I always had him do my invocations when I was president. And the invocation by Dr. Monka to open the house was so, some of you saw me crying up there, and I said, oh my gosh, I wasn't going to do it, and I couldn't help it. But because it was so heartfelt. Mr. Steve Wynn, and Michelle's here representing, and he taught me how to be a consummate professional and an advocate for the osteopathic profession. He's been a mentor and a father figure to me for all those years. And I want to thank his family for sharing him with me and my family. So I have close friends here with me today. And they were introduced earlier, and I certainly hope that you can meet them at the celebration later tonight. My wife Sherry, and daughter Allison, and Marlena, her partner, is here. And my family has been by my side, never wavering, and for that love and devotion, I hope I will be judged worthy. I have some flowers for them. It's just a very simple expression of my love and gratitude. And the Jimo boys, who I and many of us in here have seen these fine young men grow up. They're so handsome and smart and just do a great job. They're just like their mom. Excuse me, I got to write that down. That was a good one. I just came up with that. I'm like Bob Hope. I archive the good ones, But so there's a theme that I would really like to share with you today. I want to put this forth to kind of help guide this coming year, and it's going to encapsulate several initiatives for the AOA and our profession. And I want to also tie this into our strategic planning goals. And that theme is inspired. Each letter in inspired is going to signify a concept or virtue, and I'm going to talk briefly about those. And we're going to use that as a framework for how together we're going to lead the osteopathic profession. This concept reflects the power of community, united by purpose, connected through membership, and committed to osteopathic medicine. The first is IN for integrity. Now I know that's 2 letters. Okay, I got it, but it's the only way I can make this work, folks, all right? So the foundation of integrity is trust. Trust is really a cornerstone of integrity. And doing what is right, protecting the vulnerable, and following the guiding light of our osteopathic philosophy while maintaining accountability and transparency. We must remain principled and place mission before self-interest. We must continue to defend the sanctity of the doctor-patient relationship, and that governs what the AOA does and what this house does, right, with the advocacy, is we're trying to always protect that. And we may not agree with some of those decisions, but first and foremost is that relationship. Where integrity is highly valued, trust grows, and that is how we grow stronger and thrive. Integrity is the first thread that connects our voices as professionals. S is for service, and at its very core, medicine is a calling to serve. We serve our patients, by listening, providing quality care, and showing up where and when we are needed most. Our work changes lives, and when we take care of our patients, and when we teach students to be healers, we're going to talk a little bit more about that later. I thank all of my colleagues here who have been preceptors for students and residents over the years. Please continue mentoring the next generation of students, but particularly osteopathic students, whether it's on campus, in your office or clinic, or in the hospital or nursing home. Our profession needs more DOs teaching DO students. Thank you for that. 80% of our clinical preceptors are MDs, and they're much appreciated. But students will be less inclined to stay within our profession and within our associations and within the orbit of osteopathic medicine if they lose that gravity of not being around an osteopathic physician. And it is the training that we as DOs provide, the stories we tell, and the examples we set as mentors and preceptors that will keep the osteopathic profession thriving as we expand our schools. P is for passion. That's the spark, the energy, the dream of being a physician. Hopefully for all of us, that's what fueled us in our path, the passion for this. Every story that brought us to this place matters. We want passion to be contagious, to be a continual flame that when nurtured will not burn out. And the AOA can help with that. We are not just your professional home, but a place where passion can be renewed, celebrated, and shared. And being an AOA member keeps you engaged in our profession and fosters leadership. So, to this end, I've expanded the appointment book for bureaus, councils, and committees so that every BCC has at least one new physician in practice, at least one postdoctoral/resident, and at least one student. But thank you. Thank you, Ross. You were a little late on that. That's not how we practiced it, brother. All right. And in many cases, more than one, but particularly emphasis on students. We need to give them more opportunities to participate, the young people in our profession. But make no mistake, we're not going to forget the people who got us here and the thousands of DOs over the years that have contributed and sacrificed. Right? But we're going to have that deeper understanding and partnership with what the younger folks need, because we need to give them opportunities for the new insights and the energy and the passion for our profession. So innovation. And what is the first thing we think of? Oh, artificial intelligence, man. Technology. And if you haven't figured it out yet, artificial intelligence didn't help me with any of this, okay? This is all me and a little bit of help from Ann Unger for the AOA. So technology is evolving. AI is everywhere, and along with that comes changing expectations that are reshaping medicine. Innovation is not just digital, it's not just cloud-based, it's not necessarily mechanical. It is about embracing new ways of thinking Our holistic perspective as osteopathic physicians uniquely positions us to lead meaningful change for our patients, for our practices, and ultimately our profession. And the AOA wants your ideas and your involvement to help us innovate. This room contains many leaders with ideas and skills and experience. Can you identify in your mind some folks who aren't here that should be, that could be, that would have a positive impact and contribute? First, ask them to join the AOA if they're not part of that, but then also their osteopathic specialty college or state organization. Ask them to precept or train a DO student, or do a letter of recommendation for somebody that wants to go to osteopathic school, but get them involved. And if they can teach, they will learn twice. That's what that will mean to them. So help them share their ideas with us and to keep us all thriving. So for that, I've created a task force to explore how the AOA and other stakeholders can work together to promote an increased interest in osteopathic neuromuscular medicine training. We need more folks going in to this residency training program, or I'll just say graduates of these fellowships are uniquely positioned to train students and residents, as well as expand the reach and impact of osteopathic medicine by cultivating skilled mentors and academic leaders. These programs ensure a strong, sustainable pipeline of future osteopathic physicians committed to excellence in patient-centered care and hands-on manual medicine. Thank you. Feel free to clap at any time. I mean, I'll slow it down to get more. That's what I'm here for, you know. But I would like this task force to determine how we can financially support and incentivize more of our students to choose the pathway, this pathway in particular of training, and also explore ways to support currently certified physicians in whatever specialty to do a +1 year of fellowship training. We can do that. We support research. We can maybe perhaps support this. We're going to explore the idea. These individuals could potentially be supported by grants or stipends that would encourage them to partner with the ever-expanding colleges of osteopathic medicine. R is for respect, and it's fundamental to medicine and associations, fundamental to the human relationships on every level, because it fosters teamwork, strengthens collaboration, and empowers us to contribute. As an organization, the AOA must continue to foster respect by having a culture that welcomes all voices, encourages meaningful dialogue, while reassuring every member and stakeholder that their voice is heard and matters. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on respect, but make no mistake, it's crucial and extremely important. We're going to go on to E for excellence. So this is not a destination, but a continuous pursuit. Excellence means striving every day to improve, learn, grow, and teach. We are all highly invested in education. This is evidenced by the campus and class size expansion, the development of graduate medical education. the support of excellence in accountability of our board certification services, the continued recognition and validation of COMLEX, and the increased recognition of our training and credentials on the international stage. This commitment to education is ultimately a commitment to our patients, and we must continue supporting pathways that help physicians achieve and maintain certification and excellence throughout their careers. Now, this last letter, D, distinctiveness. This is the defining strength of osteopathic medicine. We're distinctive. The holistic approach is not just ours, but we are all in with the holistic approach, and it's not simply what we do, but it is who we are. So the AOA will remain the primary voice to tell our story and proudly share the value of our brand with patients, prospective students, policymakers, and healthcare leaders, and we will more effectively utilize social media to tell that story. And I've asked this House to support the AOA with an initiative to expand the Department of Communications and provide the financial resources so that we may create and adapt and make sure the message of our distinctiveness is clear in every venue that we and space that we want to be. And some of those spaces that we need to reach students and young physicians, and where they are is YouTube, TikTok, Reddit threads. But once again, make no mistake, we're not going to leave those physicians who never heard of YouTube, TikTok, or Reddit, and they just figured out their fax machine. But we're gonna help them, right? So as we look at all of those words, they each mean something. Hopefully they mean a lot to you. But to me, they represent the commitment that will guide our future. So as we begin this next chapter together, I ask all of you to embrace this model of inspired. It's our mindset. Invite others into our osteopathic community and share our mission. Help them discover their voice by attending OMED and DO Day in Washington, D.C., or create their own DO Day or Osteopathic Awareness Day in their own state. Let us be guided by the AOA strategic vision of your journey, our shared commitment. And one of the components that helps us share this commitment is the Osteopathic Pledge. So please, indulge me for a few more moments as I would like to share with you a unique version and my personal interpretation of this pledge. Me, myself, an osteopathic physician, pledge to promise, commit, and dedicate myself, provide, willingly give and serve, compassionate, caring, kind, loving, quality care, that's expertise and excellence in the healing arts, to my patients, the people, my people, our people, partner with them. That means to share and guide and empower, to promote, develop, and encourage health, wellness, and vitality, display, exhibit for all to see, integrity, honesty, accountability, and bravery to do what is right. Professionalism, that's the height of excellence and training. Throughout, that's everywhere, all the time, forever. My career, my profession, and my calling. Advance, bring forth and strengthen and further elevate the philosophy. That's the belief of our established osteopathic holistic teachings. Practice, the implementation and application. And science, that's our knowledge and our truth of osteopathic medicine. Think of the 4 tenets of what makes us DOs. Continue lifelong. Persist and never stop. Learning. Educate yourself. Gather knowledge. Expand your mind. Support. Advocate. Give your time, your talent, and your treasure. My profession. Our calling, our careers, this AOA. With loyalty, steadfast commitment, and unwavering dedication. In action, in all we do and how we act and react. Word, our written and spoken communication. And deed, that's our conduct and what we attempt and what we try to accomplish and ultimately succeed. And live, be all in, and thrive each day, every day, consistently and intentionally. As an example, be a mentor, be a model, be a preceptor of what an osteopathic physician, who is a most honorable and noble person, well-trained and grounded in fostering wellness and healing with their heart, mind, and hands. Should be, called to be, ought to be, will be, and is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. You honor me with that standing ovation. I'm going to give you another chance because y'all are silly if you think I'm done. I don't know what y'all were thinking. Piccinini didn't warn you? You never been to one of my meetings before? But I am in closing. I hope in the future you will think deeper and feel more intently the meaning of this pledge, our pledge. I hope you feel inspired for the future of osteopathic medicine, because if we work together, there are no limits to what we can accomplish. I thank you for your leadership and promises you have made to this profession. I thank you for the trust you have placed in me to serve as the 130th president of the AOA. Sherry and I thank you so much from the bottom of our heart for honoring our son Blake God bless, and blue skies. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 130th AOA President, Dr. Richard Thacker.